So you're totally ready to start using your calligraphy and lettering skills for other people's projects, but when you're starting out, how do you actually find people to hire you for those projects? Hey, I'm Becca with the Happy Ever Crafter, and I get asked this all the time, specifically because I teach people a course about how to price your work. In my course, I'll link to it down below, there's a full module with video and checklist and all the written parts on 15 ways to find clients, but I feel like everyone at least needs to hear these 5 that I'm going to tell you today. Number 1 is establishing your online presence. If people can't find you, how the heck are they going to hire you? And this probably feels like a duh, but I assure you, it is so not. So many beginners assume that word of mouth is where it's at when finding clients, and listen, it is at the start. But if someone hears of you through word of mouth and then goes to look you up and can't find you anywhere, do you think that's going to make them feel inspired to track you down and hire you? No, because it seems like you don't actually have a business. So my action steps here for you are 1, get a custom domain. And if you don't know what that means, it essentially means securing your little corner of the internet. So for me, mine is the Happy Ever Crafter. And before I started my business, I made sure that the Happy Ever Crafter domain was available so that I could get thehappyevercrafter.com. And part 1A of that is to take that domain once you've secured it and use it for your email address too. So having becca@thehappyevercrafter.com or hello@thehappyevercrafter.com is way better than having thehappyevercrafter@gmail.com. It sounds much more professional, and all you need to do is secure that domain for yourself. Number 2 is to set up a website, even if it's super basic. Like, this can be very, very simple. You can get a free website template and just make sure that you have somewhere that people are going to find you if they look you up. All it has to be is a page. Maybe it has a little about you and it has a form where they can contact you and hire you. Just start with that for now if it overwhelms you. And then lastly, in terms of perfecting your online presence, just start focusing on at least one social media. So figure out where your people, your ideal customers are hanging out, whether that's Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or TikTok or wherever it might be for you. And if it feels overwhelming to focus on all of those, just focus on one. Pick the one where you're most likely to find your clients and stick to that. And do it regularly. Post on there. Actually show up and be intentional about doing it. As soon as you've established that you have a business, you need to be giving people a way to find you and to see your work in order for them to hire you. Number 2, in terms of how to find clients, is to actually share work that you want to be doing, the work you want to be getting more of. And I know this sounds sort of duh again, but in terms of what I just told you a minute ago, to be more consistent on your social media, a lot of people find it really tempting to just share whatever pictures they have lying around. Share an old picture of work that you actually wouldn't really want to do again, or an old picture of work you weren't super proud of. Don't do that. It's quality over quantity. Share the stuff that you want to be hired for, because if someone comes and looks at your account, they should be seeing exactly what they can hire you for, and then they will. So it's not only share a picture of what you want to do, but do it from the point of view of a potential client seeing it. So what do they want to know about that project? Do they want to know how much they should budget for a project like that? Do they want to know what it's like to work with you? Do they want to know what the process is like? You know, do you supply the items that you're writing on, or do they have to supply it? Say things that a customer might be wondering, and that's going to make them drawn into you and understand what your process is like and make them want to work with you. All right, number 3, another way to get more clients is that when you do get a client, any client, even if you're doing work for free to get experience, ask for testimonials and referrals. It can feel sort of awkward at the start to tell people that you want to know what they thought about working with you, but if you're open about it and you tell them that you want their honest feedback and that you really enjoyed working with them and you hope they do too, and that as a small business owner, it's really helpful to get feedback and stuff and have testimonials and reviews, people are so interested in doing that for small businesses, and it doesn't have to be a weird, awkward thing. But the more testimonials and reviews you can have on your website, or maybe even on just Google search when people look you up, the more social proof people have for working with you. And hearing from a past client is so much better than just hearing you say it. It just provides that extra level of comfort with you because other people have had good experience. So ask for testimonials and ask for referrals. Okay, number 4 might be my favorite tip, and that is to network with other relevant businesses. And actually, I shouldn't even say relevant. Network with other businesses, period. Because as somebody who does creative services, let's say you're a letterer, calligrapher like me, which you probably are if you're watching this video, you can do so many different types of projects. It doesn't just have to be that you network with a wedding planner who might hire you to do some signage for her clients. You can network with all different types of businesses, and you never know what kind of work is going to come out of that. For example, it has felt sort of weird to network with people who own restaurants or cafes and stuff like that. But guess how I get all of my window lettering jobs? It's all people I've networked with, and even though they're not really in like an industry that's similar to hand lettering and calligraphy, they have businesses that could benefit from my skills. So really try and think outside of the box and network. And when I say network, I mean like join relevant groups. So if you've never heard of the Rising Tide Society, look into that. There might be a chapter in your city, and it's just lots of other businesses that you can network with. But even just like look up your city and networking or your city business networking. There's oftentimes a lot of different like networking groups that we don't even know about, and that could be really helpful. And it might sound scary at first, but everyone that's going to those is there for the same reason, and you don't have to feel awkward about it. And number 5, for some of you, this might make you freak out if you're an introvert, but it's one of my favorite tips too, and that is just cold call. If you're a person who has a skill and who has a service to offer and people don't seem to know about you, it's your job to educate them and to tell them that you're available. So for example, if you are a letterer or calligrapher, go into those businesses and bring them your business card, or even better, bring them a little postcard of the kind of work that you do with examples on it, and bring it to them and tell them, I don't know if you're interested in this kind of service, but just in case you are, I would love to work with you. I'd love to chat. Here's some examples of my work. And if they have that, it might not even be a service that had crossed their mind in the past, but maybe it is now. And guess whose name is going to be top of mind? Yours. So don't be afraid to do that to people. It doesn't have to be like really salesy or scammy. Just go in and let them know what you do, and let them know that you'd be interested in working with their business. The worst you're going to get is that they're not interested right now, but they're still going to think of you in the future if they decide they are interested. So honestly, all it comes down to in terms of finding clients is screaming from the rooftops that this is what you do and that you're ready to be hired for it. You have to put yourself out there. You can't just wait for people to come to you, especially when you're first starting. There's a lot of legwork up front, but it's gonna pay off in the future. So again, in my full course, Panic-Free Pricing, we go into way more depth about all of this, but what I wanted to point you to next as a free resource is our full free workshop called 5 Keys to Confident Pricing, which is so important to do once you get clients. It's all about how to confidently price yourself, how to actually get the clients to sign on once you find them and once they've inquired. So if you found this helpful, I have no doubt you're gonna find that helpful too, and you can find it at thehappyevercrafter.com/pricing. It's totally free. So that's it for now. I hope these 5 tips were helpful for you, and I hope to see you in that workshop, and go on your way, find some clients.